Hey there, second grade. Today we are going to be doing 11.2. So this is lesson 2. We're going to be talking about feet and yards. And so today we're going to be taking what we learned yesterday about inches and building on that. And so it takes 12 inches to create a foot, and then it takes 3 feet to make a yard. So let's go ahead and check out. I filmed a video just to show us the difference a little bit. So here we have a ruler, and again, there are 12 inches on this ruler, and that makes 1 foot, all right? And then we can also see, so this is our yard, and so we need 12 inches for every foot, and we need 3 feet to make 1 yard. So I've got here a couple more rulers that I'm going to put on here just to show us that we need 3 of those rulers, 3 feet, in order to make 1 yard. All right, so we've got 12, 24, 36 inches in a yard. All right, and I can put them all together. We talked yesterday a little bit about how some rulers, you have to start at the 0. And so all of these have a little bit of extra, which is why they don't line up perfectly. But you can see here that it takes 3 of these feet to make that 1 yard. Again, 12 inches is 1 foot, 3 feet is 1 yard. All right, well, we are going to go to the next page. So we're going to jump over to page 652. 652. And on here, we're going to read a little bit more of what I was just talking about. All right. It says that you can measure in feet or yards. A foot is equal to 12 inches. A yard is equal to 36 inches. Length can be measured in any direction. All right. So as we were talking yesterday about inches, that's one of the things that we can use, and that's a small unit of measurement. So sometimes it makes sense for us to measure using larger tools. All right. So when we take a look today, like we said, a foot is going to be 12 inches and a yard is 36 inches. All right. So when we look at this, we've got this filing cabinet. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. Filing cabinet. All right. They've got some rulers put here, and each one of these is 1 foot. One ruler is 1 foot. So we have 1, 2, and 3 feet. All right. Well, another way that we can use that is a yardstick. All right. So yardstick. So just like I showed you in that video, we've got 3 rulers is equal to 1 yard. All right. So it's also about 1 yard. All right, and if we look back up here, a yard is equal to 36 inches, which is another one. So we would need 36 of those little inches, or we could use rulers and we would need 3 of those, or we could just use 1 yardstick. And so there's different ways that we can start to measure these different parts. All right, well, let's come down here and we're going to take a look at number 1. All right, number 1, we're going to measure a desk. All right, so here I've got a desk. You can go ahead and see it. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some rulers on there so we can see. Well, there's 1 ruler, so that's 1 foot. And then when I put my other one up there, it's pretty close. All right, so this is about, a desk is about 2 feet. All right, so I've got about 2 feet. Well, next up, I don't have a desk that looks like this, but I do have a table that's a little bit taller. It's like a desk. So we're going to go ahead and measure that. Now, I took my yardstick over. All right, so this is my desk. Here's my yardstick, and when I set it there, there's still a little bit left there, but it's about how many yards? Well, it's about 1 yardstick. All right, so we're going to call this, all right, you can see there's a little bit left up on top. We're going to call this 1 yard. Okay, so I could have used rulers to measure that, but instead I chose to use a yardstick, and it's about 1 yard because it's close to that yard. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next page, and we will work on the next one. So this is on page 653. And we're going to go ahead and take a look and take some guesses first. An estimate, that's all an estimate is. An estimate is a guess of about how many you think. So a chair, think about our chairs at school, all right? And I want you to think, how many feet would that be? All right. Do you think that that's about the size of a yardstick and that would be 3 feet? Do you think it's a lot smaller? What do you think? My guess is, well, when I'm sitting in a chair, I think it's kind of big. So I'm going to put 3 feet. I think it's going to be close to, I think we're going to have it be close to a yard. All right. So I'm going to put 3. let's go ahead and see what it measured to. So here's one of our chairs at school. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and use a ruler. I set it kind of there. Ooh, that's almost halfway up it, isn't it? All right, well, let's try adding another ruler to this. Gotta be careful. So when I put my other ruler, it's about the same. And oh my, look at that. It is, when I measure these together, the height is about 2 of my rulers, which are each 1 foot. So a chair actually is going to measure to be about 2 feet. All right, so I'm actually going to have 2 feet instead. All right, well, the next one is a bulletin board. I'm going to skip the estimate on this because this one was really kind of tricky to do. I didn't have a bulletin board, but I did have a large whiteboard. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. So here's my whiteboard, and I'm going to measure it using my rulers. So that's each a foot. So I'm going to go ahead and, good camera work there. All right, here we go. We've got one on there already. Ooh, it's about halfway. It's more than halfway up already. So now I'm going to put on another ruler so that way it'll get a little bit higher. And so when I put that on there, ooh, it's about 1 foot and then about 6 more inches. All right, so if it's in between 1 and 2, I'm going to say it's about 2 feet because I'm going to round up. And we also know that on these rulers, there's a little bit of space on there because we got to start with 0. So I'm going to say it's about 2 feet. All right, now that one was a little tricky. So that's what we've got for that. My next one, I don't have a bookshelf that looks like this, but I do have a different kind of bookshelf. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that one. And again, we're going to skip out on the estimate for this one just because it's a little trickier. But let's just go ahead and look at the measurement. So here's my bookshelf. All right, there's my bookshelf right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put my first ruler because we're measuring in feet. There's my first ruler. Ooh, I think I'm going to need some more for this. Let me grab another ruler and put another foot on there. All right. For those of you wondering, I put some tape on the back so they would stick. So here we go. I've got 1 ruler, 2 rulers, and then when I put my third ruler on there, it looks like it goes up just like the last one. It goes up to 6 more inches. So I've got 2 full, and then I've got an extra one. We're going to go ahead and let's make the call on this. It's in between 2 and 3. Again, I like to round up, so I'm going to round up to, it's about 3 feet. All right. That one's tricky because it's right in the middle of those 2, but we're going to call that 2 full, and then we've got about another ½ foot. So I'm going to round it up to about 3 feet. All right. Now, the next one after that is going to be, we've got a file cabinet. Now, we're not measuring the tall part of the file cabinet. We're going to actually measure the base going across the bottom down here. All right. So if you think about file cabinets, I feel like we've all kind of seen these before. So I'm going to have you make an estimate on this. All right. About how wide do you think they are? Well, when I think about a file cabinet, I think about a piece of paper. And yesterday we measured it. It was about 11 inches. So I'm going to guess this might be about 1 foot. That's my guess, is 1 foot. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the measurement. Hopefully you made an estimate. Here's my file cabinet. All right, I'm going to come over. Let's measure the bottom down here. And when I put that on there, oh man, I thought it was going to be like 11 inches, a little smaller than 1 foot, and it's actually a little bit bigger. Now, I'm not even going to put another one down because there's not that much room left. So my estimate, even though I thought it was going to be smaller, it is only about 1 foot. All right, it's only about 1 foot wide. All right, so we've got that. All right, my last one. All right, last one that I'm going to do. This is a giant poster. I didn't have a big poster like that. So instead, if you ever make anchor charts at school, I've got an anchor chart. So we're going to go ahead and from top to bottom, look at an anchor chart. So here's my anchor chart. All right, let's see. How many yards would this be? So I'm going to use the yardstick. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on there, and here's my yardstick. So it's not a full yard, but it is very close. So it is about 1 yard is what we're going to. All right, well, we've got 2 more problems I want you to do. So let's go to the next page, 654. And I want you to go ahead and see if you can solve problems 8 and 9 on your own. All right, see if you can solve 8 and 9 on your own. Pause your video right now. Try to solve those 2, and then we'll go over them together. All right, well, hopefully you were able to figure those out. If not, pause it now. But number 8 says the length of Sydney's tennis racket is 2 rulers long. How many feet long is Sydney's tennis racket? Well, we've been talking this whole time that a ruler is 12 inches, and 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So every ruler is 1 foot. So if we have 2 rulers, and each one is a foot, then that means we have, if we got 2 rulers, we have 2 feet. All right. Number 9 says, Gabriella is 2 inches taller than a yard. How many inches tall is Gabriella? Well, we got to think back. A yard is how many inches long? Well, it was 3 feet, and every foot is 12 inches. So 12, 24, 36. So a yard is 36 inches. And we need to add 2 more inches because she's 2 inches taller than a yard. So let's see, 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 0 is 3. So our answer here is going to be 38 inches. Now, if you happen to miss yesterday, we are not doing homework for this chapter. We're just going to go through these videos together and go through these problems. That's all that I need for you to do. So thank you so much for working hard with me today. That's all we've got. We'll see you next time.